My name is Andrew Chung. I'm a writer slash filmmaker, and I lived in Vancouver for almost 4 years. If someone were to ask me what Vancouver meant to me, 3 things immediately come to mind. Its beauty, its heart, and its story. But rather than talk about all of these things myself, I thought I'd chat with a few friends from Vancouver that I felt embodied these traits. Because more than anything else, Vancouver is a city that's defined by its people.
I'm Sarah Leanne. I'm a TV host and actress. I moved to Vancouver when I was 8 years old, and I lived there for about 12 years. Vancouver was a new beginning for my family and I. I was 8 years old, and I remember that the first place we lived at, an apartment by English Bay, and waking up and listening to the beach was just so wonderful. I think Vancouver is really a new beginning for a lot of people that I know, a lot of immigrants. I joke around with my friends that I've never really faced any type of prejudice or racism, and I'm extremely thankful for that. I love that there's, Little India. I love that there's Chinatown. I love Commercial Drive. There's no way you can walk down the street and not see the different types of colors that make Vancouver. What do I think makes Vancouver beautiful? The people, the fact that everyone is friendly, the weather, although it rains a little too much sometimes. When I was in college, I attended BCIT. I was driving from home to BCIT. I have to kind of drive down Royal Oak. I saw this fog kind of clear up. You could kind of see the tips of the mountains, and you could see people just drive off to the side of the road, park their car, and just walk outside and then just look at how beautiful the mountains were. And it was just taking that moment to appreciate that kind of beauty to me was just like astounding. Every time I come back to Vancouver, I sit on the SkyTrain, I go from downtown to Burnaby, and I just think like, oh my God, like this city is so beautiful.
My name is Mr. Park. I am an MC songwriter from Vancouver, British Columbia. Vancouver to me means home. I was born on the west side of Vancouver. I lived in the Kitsilano area, the Dunbar area, the UBC area. It just hosted all of my experiences as a child. The heart of Vancouver to me represents all the natural aspects of it, such as the trees and the mountains and the ocean, all working in conjunction with the metropolitan side, the city side of it. And everyone's just so nice, and it's like a laid-back atmosphere. And Whistler is a couple hours of a drive away. I remember a couple summers ago, June 5th, 2009, I was snowboarding in Whistler, sunny day, hoodie, drive down that night, and then the next day by noon, I am on Spanish Banks on the beach in the sun, skimboarding. And I'm like, wow, this is what living in Vancouver is about.
I must say, it's so nice to meet you, my friend. Hey.
Vancouver means a lot of things to me. It really marked a big change in my life. I had studied business before, and I wasn't happy. So I started looking for opportunities. I knew I was always an artist. At that point in my life, I was really getting into film. So I finally took the jump. I found a screenwriting program in Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School. It also meant that I could get out of the city. I lived in Toronto, and I was born and raised here my entire life. And 4 years later, it was one of the best times of my life, one of the worst times of my life. But I can honestly say it changed me as a person. The people that I met, the things that I learned, the stories that I was told and that I've heard. I think Vancouver is full of so many stories. It's such a diverse city. I've met so many people from all sorts of walks of life. Every single one of them had their own story. It really opened my eyes to the world. I remember one of my best friends that I met in Vancouver. He told me some stories. He had lived all over the world over the course of his life. In one of the countries, he was living in a war-torn country, and he told me a story about how he had actually seen a dead baby who was actually a casualty of war. It's those types of stories that you really see that there's a world out there, and it matures you as a person. I think Vancouver in itself is a story, but to this day, Vancouver holds such a special place in my heart, and I have nothing but fond memories of it, and I'll never forget it.